What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about what happened at Baltimore Regionals, and more importantly, what we're going to talk about is the spicy decks that made at Baltimore, the spicy techs, the spicy decks, stuff like that. We're not going to cover this list. Maybe later this week we could cover this list of what did well and top 8 and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, right? But we're not going to cover that right now. We're going to cover spicy decks and techs. And the reason why I want to cover this first before we cover what did well at Baltimore is because I want to talk about how Pokemon is still fun and you can play whatever you want to. You can go out there, have fun, play your own list. I'm tired of people just copy pasting. Oh, is this whatever's list? Is this somebody else's list? Whose list is this? I'm like, bro, why can't we just make our own list and play that? And so today, that's what we're going to focus more so on, is people who have innovative lists that changed it, made their own, right? They made their own list. Who cares what people say? Have fun, do your own thing. And then these are all people on Twitter. Go give them a follow, right? Go follow them because obviously they're testing cool decks and posting them for people. So go follow them. Show some support. And I try to reach out on Twitter and find as many unique decks as I could, different tech cards, stuff like that. And if I missed any, let me know. I'll gladly cover them next time around at regionals. But I think to me that's more fun. Talking about these lists and different broken decks and stuff like that. Some of them did do well, some did well, some just for fun, some are memes, some are just different tech cards. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and exit out of this because we don't care about this. So first up, we have Metis TCG. 4-2 at Baltimore, Sablezard and Friends. Was on Guardy, Charizard past 2 weeks, was testing, didn't do good. Started with my gut and played with my homies. One last ride, shout out for Booth, TCG, Cass City, RB Harris, Dude Cadrian, and for all working on the list, they are genius. So we have this group of people that worked on this list, and it's Sablezard. I've had people, make memes, saying, hey, where's Comfy at? And here he is. It went 4-2. Unfortunately, I think they, end up having headaches, not feeling well. I'm not trying to talk too much about it. But they ended up dropping at 4-2, which seems kind of weird, but they didn't feel well and stuff like that. But this still shows that, even though Sablezard hasn't done well competitively, it still has a chance, right? You don't follow what people are doing. Play with your gut. Play what you want to play. And I think this is a really cool thing to talk about. Not only that, we see the legacy energy, right? That's pretty cool. Legacy energy is dirty in this deck. Makes it where they can't take prize cards, stuff like that. I think Radianzard is a great play for this weekend. Be able to hit a ton of damage for, one energy is great, right? That's always a strong thing to do. Unfortunately, like I said, 4-2 had a drop, but still, congratulations. That's fantastic. I don't, unfortunately, know how well this person did, but this deck looks sick. And we see it is a Arceus V-Star. It just says, here's my 60. I tried to look, and if I missed it, what placement they did, please let me know. But it's an Arceus V-Star deck with Noivern, Vulpix V-Star with Iron Thorns and Luminion, right? It's got the Mist energy, it's got mismatch like lightning and water. Then the Course Tenacity, find a supporter card, stuff like that. Arceus be able to set up stuff, get what you want, maybe load up Vulpix if need be. Noivern to shut down things where they can't use item cards. Vulpix making it where Pokemon with abilities can't hurt it, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Iron Thorns shut down Pokemon with abilities as well too. But this makes it where they can't any Pokemon. This makes it where rule box Pokemon. No, I can't remember exactly which one's which. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I don't have time to look at each card. But Iron Thorns makes it where abilities don't work, and Vulpix can't take damage from Pokemon with abilities. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that's true. Scoop up Cyclone to pick up a damaged Pokemon is pretty sick. Energy Capsule for that free treat Iron Thorns because it is a hefty guy. But yeah, really cool list. Like I said, they only posted here's my 60. Yeah, they talk about, how you do good stat, blah, blah, blah. How much to buy the list, okay. Yeah, so little comment on there. But shout out to TYXL Taxel TV. Next up, we have Chris. Went 3-4 drop with Pink Pony Club at Baltimore. Most of my losses were pretty close, but the deck was a ton of fun to play and was fairly consistent too. And we see this really interesting take on Palkia V-Star Dusknoir. very cool. You know, and we're gonna talk about this deck later on. Of course, it gets a lot more support in the new format, with the thing that lets you have 8 bench Pokemon, all that kind of fun stuff. But be able to use Dusknoir, ping multiple Pokemon on the bench, and then Palkia pick up knockouts. Also, you can do like a cool like Radiant Greninja play, right? You can Dusknoir plus Radiant Greninja them, which is pretty cool. Palkia V-Star just does a ton of damage from any bench Pokemon, and with Dusknoir can help you hit those big numbers, right? So that's pretty cool, right? You can Subspace Well plus Dusknoir, do a ton of damage that way, which is pretty nice. You can Iona them too, which is pretty funny because you get Dusknoir plus Iona and then and mess them up. Trek of Shoes to draw through the deck. Really cool take on Palkia Dusknoir. I'm excited for the next format where we could play the new turtle guy in the stadium to have 8 bench Pokemon. Sorry, I don't know their names. I haven't tested at all the new format. I have no idea what these cards are even called yet. But the spicy cards here, like the one Buddy Buddy Poffin, the one Switch, one Black Vacuum, and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. Both Diarrhea. And make things possible, right? 4 Night Stretcher to get back your Duskull and Dusknoir and stuff like that. Pretty spicy. Yeah, shout out to Chris. Is Chris Gerald is their Twitter name? So shout out to them. Fantastic. Even though they went 3-4 drop, still cool list to talk about. Next up is Jake, who went 6-1-2 at Baltimore. So barely missing cut. Literally barely missing cut because you need 21 points to get day 2. So 6-1-2, unfortunately. But shout out to Dylan, who played the same 60. Mimikyu is basically the Undertale protagonist and Refuse to Die. So you have this kind of like OG control deck, and I kind of want to talk about this because we're talking about control decks later on. Even though control hasn't been in the best spot, right, going forward, I think it's still cool that we do have a chance that, you know, it can do well, right? We had 2 ties. If either one of those was a win, if that loss was a tie, then they're in the day 2, right? With this very cool control deck with Snorlax, got the Ogerpon and stuff like that. I got the Handheld Fan. Handheld to me is like a monster. That's a dirty card. Be able to move energies, Miss Fortune Sisters to help, mill the mist energies to protect your Pokemon and stuff like that. It's pretty nice. And of course, protect your Mimikyu, which is pretty cool. Mimikyu is just such a dirty card. Like a lot of decks can't handle Mimikyu, right? And especially the Ogerpon. Once that's down, like some decks can't do anything about that. I know if I played against Ogerpon, I would just scoop because I literally have no card that can hurt it. And to be honest, I don't. I was not prepared for an Ogerpon. 4 Painting to heal your guys, your main thing. 4 Poke Gear. 4 Counter Catcher for disruption. A Company Flute to get more Pokemon down. I love it a lot. Shout out to RIGGSZ1. Great base, Mimikyu. It's busted. Next up, we have Cynthia, the Mint Mermaid, playing a Dragapult deck. Once again, Dragapult not hyped at all, but still, really cool list, And it's a different spin on Dragapult. We have a Radiant Blastoise in there. What's it called? Pump Shot. You may discard a Water G from your hand to use his ability. Once during turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this help fixes the math with Dragapult. That's what they're going to say. They said so many people asked me what I was playing. Here's a 60. I don't know what I did to anger the RNG Jesus, but I need to refine it even more now after getting donked a few times. I never liked Radiant Alakazam, and Hawlucha was a one and done. And unfortunately, Meowscarada can make the deck clunkier. For those who don't know, the Mint Mermaid has always played Meowscarada, and they are tweeting that they're playing Meowscarada Dragapult. I was excited. I was like, please let this be real. I knew it had to be clunky as all heck, right? But still, unfortunately, not a real thing. We're memeing, but that's okay. But Blastoise, didn't expect that one at all. That's a really cool inclusion. What's the fix? Radiant Blastoise fixes the math, and when the deck sets up, it feels utterly unstoppable. Crispin and Sparkling Crystal A-Spec is going to make this deck so much better. Shout out to Spec for absolutely taking 9 rounds of real show from my Dragapult and blah, 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 blah. So, it's cool, right? You have this Dragapult deck with B-Barrel. Dragapult really hasn't seen any success outside of good old Regidrago. So Dragapult with Blastoise is really, really cool. I like this deck a lot. I like that it has Devolution and Evolution. You can be able to set up and you can disrupt your opponent. Neo Upper Energy is a fantastic A-Spec. But, like I said, going forward, playing the new Sparkling Crystal, or is that the right one? I'm not sure which one's the A-Spec is. Like I said, I haven't looked at the new cards at all, and I apologize. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But whatever it is for the Dragapult, makes it better. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm excited. Dragapult EX is a fun deck, and I'm glad that it had, good showing. So yeah, there it is, just Dragapult. Like I said, shout out to Mint Mermaid. Make sure you follow them on Twitter. We have Aiden, top 128 with Boom or Doom. Shout out to Dual Spags, Team Daily Ground, and Jushashu for also playing the deck with me. So we have this RCS Dusknoir deck. Now, we have seen this deck kind of do well in Japan, so it's not too surprising to me that it did. Had a top 128 placement. Playing RCS, the 2-2 line, help me get set up those Dusknoirs, get those set up ASAP kind of thing. The Blood Moon Ursaluna to take those knockouts during late game with stuff like that. You have the 4 Double Turbo, the Jet Energy, and the 1 Water, 1 Psychic to help set up. The 1 Water, is for the Iron Bundle. The Psychic is for the Radiant Alakazam. Also, you just need it to attack with. But yeah, you swing with the Arceus with the Dusknoir, and you do a ton of damage. You knock out your own Dusknoir. Set up the math, RCVCR takes a knockout. You can power up another RCZ or something like that. You have Serendipity to help draw cards. No Bieber on this list. Radiant Alakazam to fix the math, stuff like that, move it around. Fire list, really, really cool. I like it a lot. And once again, the deck, I think, only gets better going forward, probably with the Grand Tree. Be able to set up a Dusknoir out of nowhere and knock it out is great. You can save your V-Star if need be, or use 2 Dusknoirs. Sure, why not? Let's set up 2 Dusknoirs and do like 200 CC of damage, right? So, fun deck, really cool. I'm glad they did well. I know, like I said, Aiden did top 128. Shout out to, Kus? Aiden, KHUSAIDAN on Twitter. Make sure you check him out. Next up is Alex Shemansky. We have another Dusknoir deck, right? Yeah, another Dusknoir deck. This time it is Darkrai Dusknoir. Darkrai, one of my favorite Pokemon, so it's really cool to see its support. Darkrai lets you get back to item cards, which is its V-Star attack, and just be able to set up multiple Roaring Moons. Dusknoir can help do the math, because Roaring Moon can only do 220, but with the Dusknoir, it sets up math and takes huge knockouts, which is great. You have the Ultra Ball, the Nest Ball, the Dark Patches, help get set up. Serendipity, draw cards. Morpeko to give that free retreat. Greninja to draw cards. You get the 4 Night Stretcher, and so that's kind of the point of the deck, is you use the Darkrai V-Star, set up multiple rare candy, Dusknoir plays with the Roaring Moon, right, and you do kind of thing. Late game, you can use the Pekron EX, but 83rd out of 200 in Baltimore with the Darkrai Dusknoir deck that Tim has been playing. They've been advertising a lot. I think they did well, like cups and stuff like that. Deck was super good all weekend, but I was not ready for Cloth and Lost Zone Polt. Dusknoir is a broken card, and we can see this. Dusknoir was played in a bunch of different decks, right? So Dusknoir is a really good card, and I think it will only get better with a new set. Palpat and Boss was extremely good. Morpeko was less good, but still worth the spot of Raw. I played against exactly 1 Ogerpon deck, and my deck decided we weren't going to play the game, so I lost. So, that's the big thing here. 1 Ogerpon, and unfortunately lost to it, but yeah. Cool. So yeah, Darkrai Dusknoir, another special deck, 83rd. Congratulations, Alex Shemansky. You can follow them at Shemansky on Twitter. Next up, we have Malcolm. Crazy weekend at Baltimore, finished up 79th out of 2,300 players. Worked very hard on the list for the past month and a half, and it paid off. Unfortunately, matchup is a 2, but it is what it is. Not sure what I'll do for the rest of the season, though. 80 plus CP, I think. GG's. So it is another Mimikyu deck, and look, it's just like 4 Mimikyu. Like, you better deal with these Mimikyus, and if you can't, I'm gonna get you. I'm just gonna win that way. But also, they played a different, they played Mimikyu with Noivern. Also, interesting enough, they played the other Noivern. I have no idea what it does. I didn't look it up. I don't care. But still, what a great list. Have the Ogerpon as well, if need be, to get around to make your abilities can hurt you. Secret Box is in here too. We'll talk about that later on. Double Thornton. Spooky. So yeah, another variant of the control list, right? So pretty cool. Huge shout out to Max and Will for helping me making the list. Could not have done it without them. And you can see there's a bunch of different talks about this. Whatever that means. But yeah, shout out to M. Wayland TCG, fantastic list, really cool. I love the Mimikyus, and just basically, if your deck can't handle Mimikyu, you lose. Next up, we have Michael with Christmas TCG. I don't know why I didn't just say Christmas TCG. 9-4 Baltimore with Awesome Zard. Deck is unbelievable fun to play and has the same matchup. Shout out to Chevelle, Isaiah, and I. Third to Cook, but he bailed like a coward to play Lugia. Luck was up and down, but we take those. Top 64 bubble is cringe. Louisville next, because that 66 and a 64 is where you get like extra stuff, right? But It is a Charizard deck. You might be thinking, Josh, why are you putting Charizard on here, right? That's not special. But the thing about this list, it's a 4-2-2 Dusknoir line, which we probably have never, or 3-2-2 Dusknoir line, which we haven't really seen. There's no B-Bear on here. Once again, playing their kind of like own spin, own this Charizard deck. And only 4 fire energy, and that's kind of the big thing here. 4 fire energy, what the heck? No Pidgeot either. It's literally just Charizard with Dusknoir. No, nothing else. Like, that's crazy. Like, whatever we draw into, right? There's no Arven, right? There's no Arven. Like, when you're looking, you're like, yep, there's no Arven. Sure isn't. Sure isn't. It literally is just like Charizard, Dusknoir blows itself up, and then Charizard takes the knockouts. And that's the deck. And that's the deck. Like, right? That's pretty crazy. This list is wild. 2 Tractor Shoes, 2 Stroop Rod. And I say it's wild, but it paid off. 9-4. That's crazy, right? Showing, 3 Pokestop, but it makes sense. Look how many trainer cards are. This whole section right here. More than half the deck is trainer cards. 4 Night Stretcher. Basically, once again, we're just showing how broken Dusknoir is. That's basically the end of this story. Dusknoir is broken. But shout out to Michael, Christmas TCG. Give them a follow. Check them out on Twitter. Next up, we have Cyrus. Now, Cyrus, a whole group of them cooked up with this list, right? And here it is. It is another Ogerpon deck with Noivern this time, but no Mimikyu. Just Ogerpon and Noivern. That's it. You might be thinking, that's crazy, but you say that, but you look, you have 1 in top 8, 1 in top 32, 3 in top 64, 1 top 28, 2 top 56, 4 in top 512, and 2 at top 24. And you can see right here, out of 15 players on the 60, 5 made it through 21 day points and 14 and 15 gap points. So pretty much everyone got points who played this deck, playing this very unique deck, right? I'm not at Baltimore, so I didn't join the squad, but we had 50 people on this, the same 60 we cooked up. And this is crazy. This is so amazing to see. You have this, like, list that's very unique, and the players, like 15 group of players, made it. And that's fantastic to see, right? And that's what I'm talking about. This game, people keep talking about, like I said earlier in my video from yesterday, that this format's boring. The format's not boring. It's very exciting. It's different, right? There's a ton of different stuff that you can play. You're just not testing fun decks, and that's what we see here with Cyrus and the crew, right? So here it is. I can't speak much about it because I didn't play it, and I don't know exactly what all these cards do and how it kind of works out. But Scoop of Cyclone, fantastic, right? Ogerpon just says, hey, you can't hurt me, right? We're going to attack with Ogerpon. We're going to do our thing. And, yeah, what else is there more to say? It's a pretty unique deck, and congratulations to the whole gang for doing well. Next up, we have Grafton Roll. Grafton's back. Made top 8. I got 9th. I think I might just need to switch those around. I think Cyrus Crew got higher placement. I'm sorry, I messed this up. But Grafton, even when I make top 8, I get 9th. Honored to lose in the first regional asymmetrical cut. Really close games. Way too many Lugias. And we see this, like, Palkia Dusknoir deck. Once again, Dusknoir making an appearance. I mean, a lot of these decks have Dusknoir, but it just shows you how flexible this format is, right? I don't think anybody was really covering Dusknoir that I'm aware of, and here we have it in so many different decks, right? But it's a Palkia Dusknoir deck. We saw it kind of earlier with the Pink Pony Club, but this was a little bit different spin on it. It does have a 1/1 Greninja EX line, sure. But still playing Blood Moon, playing the Fezzidippy, all those other cards we've seen before. Playing a 3-1-2 Dusknoir line. Just want to give a shout out to Grafton. Like I said, we saw one earlier that we talked about, Chris, but now we have another one. So make sure you're following Grafton Roll on Twitter, and also follow Cyrus. I have shout out to Cyrus. But also, last up we have Henry. They won the tournament. They won the tournament, right? And you might be thinking, why are we showing the deck that won? That's not surprising. But Henry got first place with Gardevoir. And if you had told anybody that Gardevoir won the tournament, they would be like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? And, yeah, they call it Turbo Gardevoir EX. It is playing, the Evolution. They got the Buddy Buddy Polyphant. That's not special. The Klefki, whatever. And it's playing all these different, not different, but the same stuff we always see. But the big thing here is it has not Team Evolution. It has Secret Box, sorry. And Secret Box makes this deck so much consistent now because you can literally Arven for a Secret Box and, to a card or something like that, and you can Secret Box away, Psychic Energies and get those set up for the Gardevoir, stuff like that. You got 3 Bravery Charms, I think might be a little bit more than usual. But yeah, 2 Rare Candy, rare candies weren't played at all in Gardevoir. I don't care what you're talking about. It was not being played in Gardevoir. So 2 rare candy and secret box just made the deck so much fast. And yeah, that turn 2 Gardevoir was, I bet it happened a bunch for them, right? Which is great. It's great, right? It's great. So the base schedule in with like, even though people talk about how like bad Gardevoir is and it's not to play and blah blah blah, Henry said, you know what? I'm gonna come there and prove him wrong. And what's great about Henry is they played Gardevoir at NEIC, got like top 8 I think or something like that. If I'm wrong, I know it's pretty close to that. But they proved, you know what? I'm sticking with the deck I like. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just gonna make some changes, and that's what they did, and they did fantastic with it. At NEIC, I know they played the A-Spec Loaded Search for 3 Stage 1 Pokemon, and now they're playing Secret Box. It gets you, you know, the Psychic Energies and Discard Pile, but also it can find you a bunch of cool cards that you need to help set up. So yeah, that's it. We covered a bunch of different decks, but it's cool to show how diverse this metagame really is. I don't care what anybody says, this metagame is really, really cool. It's great to see. Shout out to all the people involved in this video. And, yeah, make sure you follow them all. But, yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm looking forward for the new set. We're going to talk about it as much as we can next week. Tomorrow we'll talk about something else, and then Friday we'll talk about something else. But next week, we'll start covering the new set. We'll talk about Baltimore and how, like, you can literally play any kind of deck, and you'll do well Pokemon. And just, you know, play your thing, do what you want to do kind of thing, and just have fun. That's the big thing. Have fun. Have fun playing Pokemon. That's the big thing here. I don't care what anybody says. Play the deck that you want to play, and you'll be good to go. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.